and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, take a look at the headlines first. Bail is the rule, jail is the exception, says Supreme Court. Without reforms, UNSC is ill-equipped to address global challenges, says G4 nations. Government to boost coal production through global mining operators. Niti Aayog initiated process for revamping of centrally sponsored schemes. 6th India-Australia Maritime Security Dialogue concluded. 25th edition of Women and Men in India 2023 report released. In a landmark ruling that could reshape the landscape of criminal justice in India, the Supreme Court has reinforced the principle that bail is the rule, jail is the exception. This applies even under stringent laws like the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act or UAPA, reaffirming the fundamental rights enshrined in the Indian Constitution. A two-judge bench of the Supreme Court observed that the denial of bail in deserving cases amounts to a violation of Article 21 of the Constitution, which guarantees that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. Under India's legal framework, bail is an essential component of the justice system. Section 479 of the newly introduced Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita 2023 stipulates that in bailable offences, an under-trial prisoner cannot be detained for more than half the maximum period of imprisonment prescribed for the offence. For the first-time offenders, bail is to be granted if they have been in custody for over one-third of this period. Special laws like the POSCO Act 2012 and the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005, etc., also contain specific provisions regarding bail, further highlighting its significance. The Supreme Court's ruling comes against a backdrop of serious concerns regarding the denial of bail. As per the Prison Statistics India 2022, under-trial prisoners constitute a staggering 75.8% of the total prison population, contributing to the severe overcrowding in Indian jails, with an occupancy rate of 131.4%. The denial of bail disproportionately affects vulnerable sections of society, with over 60% of inmates being either illiterate or having education below class 10th, leading to human rights violations and substandard living conditions within the prison system. In line with these efforts, certain measures have been taken. The plea bargaining enables pre-trial negotiation between defendant and prosecution. E-Prison's software facilitates state authorities to access data of inmates in efficient manner. Additionally, the Model Prison Manual 2016 provides guidelines on facilities to be provided to under-trial inmates such as legal defense, legal aid, etc. Lastly, Model Prisons Act 2023 aims at rehabilitation and transformation of inmates into law-abiding citizens. The United Nations Security Council faces mounting criticism from the G4 nations who argue that without urgent reforms, the Council is increasingly ill-equipped to address the pressing global challenges of our time. India, on behalf of G4 nations, asserted that the UNSC needs reforms to tackle challenges like extremism, cybersecurity threat, etc. Established in 1945, the UNSC was designed as one of the UN's 6 principal organs tasked with maintaining international peace and security. The Council's structure, however, has remained largely unchanged since its inception, with 15 members, 5 permanent and 10 non-permanent. The permanent seats held by the US, China, the UK, Russia, and France are a source of growing contention. The G4 nations, India, Japan, Brazil, and Germany, are leading the call for reform. Representing a diverse and dynamic segment of the world's population and economy, these countries argue that UNSC's current composition no longer reflects the geopolitical realities of the 21st century. They propose expanding the Council's membership to 25, including 6 new permanent members, to better represent regions like Africa, Latin America, and the underrepresented Asia-Pacific. The G4 nations point out several issues that underline the need for reform. Firstly, there is lack of representation, like non-representation of Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean, and the underrepresentation of Asia-Pacific in the permanent category. The Council's credibility is waning, as evidenced by its failure to resolve conflicts like the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Moreover, the veto power held by the permanent members is often wielded to protect national interest rather than global security, as seen when China blocked India's proposal to designate certain individuals as global terrorists. For India, and indeed the G4, this is not just about gaining a seat at the table. It's about ensuring that the Council can effectively tackle challenges like extremism, cybersecurity threats, and terrorism, issues that affect the entire global South. Yet the path to reform is fraught with challenges. Any change would require amendments to the UN Charter. Also, reforms proposed by G4 and L.69 Group, or cross-regional grouping of developing, are opposed by groups like Uniting for Consensus or the Coffee Club. Main countries behind the Coffee Club are Italy, Pakistan, etc. Lastly, lack of substantive progress of intergovernmental negotiations on Council reform persists. As the intergovernmental negotiations continue to stall, the question remains: can the UNSC evolve to meet the demands of a rapidly changing world, or will it remain a relic of a bygone era, unable to fulfill its founding mission or maintaining international peace or security?
Ahead in the news, the Union Ministry of Coal has launched a transformative initiative aimed at enhancing coal production in India by involving global mining developers cum operators in major projects under Coal India Limited. In a significant policy shift, the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade in 2019 permitted 100% foreign direct investment under the automatic route for coal mining activities, including the sale of coal and associated processing infrastructure. This policy is aligned with the provisions of key legislation such as the Coal Mines Special Provisions Act 2015 and the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957, ensuring that foreign investments comply with Indian laws while contributing to the sector's growth. The MDOs will play a crucial role in this initiative, bringing advanced technological capabilities to the table, which are essential for modernizing India's mining practices and improving overall operational efficiency. Their responsibilities extend beyond mere technological enhancement. They will also manage critical aspects like rehabilitation and resettlement issues, land acquisitions, and securing environmental clearances. Furthermore, the MDOs will work closely with state and central pollution control boards to ensure strict adherence to environmental standards. This initiative is part of a series of recent reforms in India's coal sector aimed at fostering growth and innovation. The introduction of composite licensing under the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Act 2021 allows for a combined prospecting license cum mining lease, streamlining the process for mining companies. Additionally, the launch of commercial coal mining auctions in 2020 marked a historic moment, as it opened up the sector to private players, breaking the long-standing public sector monopoly. Other noteworthy reforms include the development of an integrated coal logistic policy and plan, which seeks to optimize coal transportation and reduce logistical bottlenecks, and investments in coal gasification. In conclusion, these efforts collectively aim to not only increase coal production but also ensure that the coal sector in India is aligned with global best practices, environmentally sustainable, and capable of meeting the country's growing energy demands.
In a major move towards ensuring more effective governance, the Niti Aayog has taken a significant step by initiating the revamping process of centrally sponsored schemes, or CSS. This move is spearheaded by the Development Monitoring and Evaluation Office of the Niti Aayog, which has been actively working since its inception in 2015 to oversee and evaluate key government initiatives. The evaluation process will span across 9 crucial sectors, including agriculture, women and child development, and education, to name a few. As per the Bajal Committee Report 1987, centrally sponsored schemes are schemes that are largely funded by the central government but implemented by the states. Examples include the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Under CSS, a certain percentage of the funding is borne by the states in the ratio of 50:50, 70:30, 75:25, or 90:10. Currently, there are 75 centrally sponsored schemes with approximately 10.4% of centers' total budget expenditure. Now, why is there a need to revamp centrally sponsored schemes? Firstly, rationalization, that is, cutting down or merging schemes through impact assessment and setting sunset clauses to stop running them indefinitely. Secondly, due to the concerns raised by states, lack of flexibility in determining funding pattern, overlap with state schemes, delays in fund disbursement from the center, etc. Wrapping up, here are the key recommendations by Subgroup of Chief Ministers on Rationalization of Centrally Sponsored Schemes 2015. Highest priority should be accorded to sectors or tasks or objectives like poverty elimination and schemes for social inclusion. Centrally sponsored schemes should be categorized into core and optional schemes. 25% allocation in a scheme should be Flexi Fund to be spent in accordance with the Ministry of Finance guidelines. Lastly, Niti Aayog to have concurrent jurisdiction in monitoring of centrally sponsored schemes in the states and central ministries.
Ahead in the news, the 6th India-Australia Maritime Security Dialogue recently concluded, marking another step forward in the strengthening of bilateral ties between the two nations. During the dialogue, key issues such as maritime domain awareness and humanitarian assistance and disaster relief coordination were discussed, emphasizing the importance of cooperation in these critical areas. In conjunction with this, the 14th meeting of the India-Australia Joint Working Group on Counterterrorism also took place, underscoring the broad spectrum of security concerns that both countries are collaboratively addressing. These engagements are integral to the India-Australia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership or CSP, a relationship that has evolved significantly over the years. The Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, which was established in the year 2020, upgraded the bilateral relationship from a strategic partnership formed in 2009. This partnership is built on a foundation of mutual understanding, trust, and shared values, including a commitment to democracy and the rule of law. For India, the CSP with Australia holds considerable importance across multiple dimensions. In the maritime domain, Australia has been a staunch supporter of India's Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative, which aims to ensure an open and inclusive Indo-Pacific region. This commitment is further reflected in initiatives like the Australia-India Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative Partnership, which seeks to bolster cooperation in this strategically vital area. Economic cooperation is another key pillar of the CSP. The Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement, which came into force in 2022, is expected to be a game changer for both countries. The agreement has the potential to create at least 10 lakh jobs in India. In terms of defense cooperation, the arrangement concerning mutual logistics support is a noteworthy development, facilitating closer military collaboration. The two countries also regularly conduct joint military exercises such as Austro-Hind, further strengthening their defense ties. Regional and multilateral cooperation forms another critical aspect of the CSP. Both nations actively collaborate in forums such as the G20, World Trade Organization, Indian Ocean Rim Association, ASEAN Regional Forum, and the Quad. Additionally, Australia has been a vocal supporter of India's long-standing call for the early adoption of a comprehensive convention on international terrorism at the United Nations General Assembly, a move that underscores the shared commitment to combating global terrorism. In conclusion, the ongoing dialogue and collaboration between India and Australia are reflective of a partnership that is not only comprehensive in scope but also vital for the stability and prosperity of the broader Indo-Pacific region. Ahead in the news, the 25th edition of the Women and Men in India 2023 report prepared by the National Statistical Office under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation has been released. This comprehensive report offers a detailed and holistic view of the status of women and men across various domains such as population, health, education, and employment, among others. One of the key findings from the report relates to population dynamics. By the year 2036, India's population is projected to reach 152.2 crore, with an improved female percentage of 48.8%, a slight increase from 48.5% recorded in the 2011 census. Additionally, the sex ratio is expected to rise from 943 females per 1,000 males in 2011 to 952 by 2036. The percentage of India's working age population that is aged 15 to 59 years is also expected to grow from 60.7% in 2011-12 to 64.9% by 2036, indicating a significant shift in the country's demographic profile. In the area of health, life expectancy has shown positive trends. For the period 2016-20, life expectancy was recorded at 68.6 years for males and 71.4 years for females. These figures are expected to increase to 71.2 years for males and 74.7 years for females by 2031-36. Additionally, there has been a notable reduction in non-institutional deliveries, which have dropped to 8.2% in the period 2019-21, highlighting improvements in maternal and child health care. Employment trends also reveal significant changes. The labor force participation rate for males has increased from 75.8% in 2017-18 to 78.5% in 2022-23. For females, the LFPR has seen a remarkable jump from 23.3% to 37% over the same period, reflecting increased participation of women in the workforce. Other noteworthy findings include the historic turnout in the 2019 national elections, where for the first time, women's voter turnout 67.2% surpassed that of men. Furthermore, 47.6% of the total recognized startups by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade are led by women, showcasing the rising influence of women in entrepreneurship and business leadership in India. In conclusion, this report not only provides crucial data but also highlights the ongoing progress and challenges in achieving gender equality and improving the socio-economic conditions of women and men in India. The personality news for today is Madam Bhikaji Cama. The eminent revolutionary leader and freedom fighter Madam Bhikaji Cama was remembered on her death anniversary, that is 13th August. Madam Bhikaji Cama was a revolutionary icon hailing from Navsari district of the present-day state of Gujarat. Known as the mother of the Indian Revolution, she was an ardent advocate of Indian freedom abroad. Talking about her key contributions, she started the Paris edition of Bande Mataram to circulate information about the freedom movement and garnered support nationally and internationally. In 1905, she co-founded Paris Indian Society, also known as the Bharat Mandal. On August 22, 1907, she became the first person to hoist Indian flag on foreign soil in Stuttgart, Germany. The flag she unfurled was co-designed by Cama and Shyamji Krishna Verma. Through her actions, she showcased her values of conviction, courage, integrity, nationalism, and more.
As we conclude today's main news, let's take a look at some quick updates. Indian Air Force hosted Phase 1 of the exercise Tarang Shakti at Sulur Air Base in Tamil Nadu. It is India's first multinational air exercise and aims to showcase India's defense prowess and provide a platform for participating militaries to foster interoperability. Recently, a massive distributed denial of service attack resulted in glitches in interview of a former US president over social media platform X. It is a malicious attempt to disrupt the normal traffic of a targeted server, service, or network by overwhelming the target or its surrounding infrastructure with a flood of internet traffic. According to scientists, ballast water carried by ships is providing a vehicle to bring in exotic and invasive species in coastal areas. Ballast water is fresh or salt water held in the ballast tanks and cargo holds of ships to provide stability. Ministry of Jal Shakti launched the version 2.0 of the Flood Watch India mobile application. In news version, information from 592 flood monitoring stations, earlier 200, will be covered along with 150 major reservoirs. Defense Research and Development Organization carries out successful maiden flight test of long-range glide bomb Gaurav from Su-30 Mk1 platform. Gaurav is an air-launched 1000 kg class glide bomb capable of hitting targets at long distance. Recently, DRDO successfully test-fired indigenously built man-portable anti-tank guided missile. It is a shoulder-launched portable missile system specifically designed to counter enemy tanks and armored vehicles. Researchers from the US found methods to trace the origin and destination of the forever chemicals. Forever chemicals refer to human-made toxic compositions which are not depleted naturally and can stay in the environment for thousands of years. Minister of Minority Affairs launched the GeoParsi scheme portal. Portal will enable Parsis to apply online, check status of application and receive financial assistance online through direct benefit transfer. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Knowledge. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version, remember to visit the links in the description below.